Welcome back to the League of Hustlers. This is a review and a summary of The Richest Man in Babylon, one of the most game changing, best selling books on financial independence. All right. Let's jump right into it. I'm your host, HT,
I'm CD Barnes.
and this is where we prepare to prosper, man. Let's get it. All right. First up, richest man in Babylon, right? That's why we're here, right? Let's talk about it. Main lesson, one key lesson from the richest man in Babylon is start thy purse to fattening. All right. Start thy purse to fattening. Number one, you got to get the book. We're going to leave a link in the comments to pick up the book on Amazon. But you have to read this for yourself. It is wonderfully written in the form of like stories, right? This fable about the richest man in Babylon, right? He's given his perspective on things that we should be doing and what he did with his money to grow his wealth, right? The first key that he gives is save at least 10% of every dollar you earn. All right. And this first rule emphasizes the importance of paying yourself first before any other expenses. Okay. That's rule number one. Save at least 10% of every dollar you earn. All right. You have to start with yourself. Okay. Um, if you're religious, some folks do tithing and stuff like that. I say do that first if that's your religion. But also you have to save at least 10% for yourself. Right. So the first rule in fattening your purse is saving 10% for yourself. All right. Next up.
Next up, control thy expenditures. All right. Budget your expenses and ensure that your spending does not exceed your needs. This is major right here. And this is going to help us to save that 10% that we need, right? A lot of times people are, how they say, living paycheck to paycheck, where really need every dime and every paycheck just to make ends meet, to eat, to live, etc., etc. So being able to control our expenses, our expenditures, narrow that down to the point where we can capture that 10% and more. And not only that, but like make it a habit of continuously kind of checking that, auditing that, making sure that we know where our money is going. If you can't um measure it, or you if you can't track it, you can't grow it. So this is a really big part of it, being able to track your expenses so that we're able to actually manage and grow them.
Show. Next up is make thy goal multiply. All right. So in the book, as the character is going along, it's all about like these ancient times, right? And they carried around these purses that they kept gold coins in. So this is what they mean by make thy gold multiply. All right. So invest your savings wisely so that it can earn more money and grow over time. All right. This involves seeking opportunities that ensure your money works for you. Okay. So it's not enough to amass the money. It's not enough to just save 10%, but you also want to make it multiply, right? Think of it as little workers, right? Think of each dollar as a worker, right? So you want to put those workers to use. You don't want your workers sitting around not doing anything. All right. So make thy goal multiply. That's the third rule. And in total is seven. All right. And so we're going to split this up into two episodes, right? But first, this first episode, we want to talk about the first few of them. And then we're going to come back, right, and talk about the rest of them. All right. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button and drop something in the comments. All right. And let us know what you think about these rules. Okay. So make your goal multiply. We want to look for opportunities that's going to grow the money, right? Your dollar you should send out to attract more dollars, recruit more dollars. Okay. It's all about multiplying. Okay. So you want to save it, you want to reduce the amount that you're spending, and then you want to go out and have those dollars go out and multiply. How do we do that? What are some examples, CD, that we can actually make it multiply? Ways that
Man,
we can
one that we know right off the bat is first thing I want to point out is that 10% is relatively a small amount. Like right,
right,
10 cents on a dollar is pretty small. So how are we going to gain anything worthwhile with just 10 cents on a dollar? But to point out, um, the stock market is an easy way, where you can pretty much passively gain you know a snowball effect with your saved money, and you can start small.
right,
The big thing to understand here is about it's we're not just adding, we're actually multiplying, and the compounding effect that occurs over time is massive.
right.
If, like, to put it in perspective, if you started with a penny, only a penny, and you doubled it the entire amount 27 times, you'd be over $1,000,000. So it doesn't
Wow.
take you don't have to start with anything. Do it yourself. Pull out the calculator on your phone, whatever. Start with a penny and times 2 times 2. By the time you get to 27, you're over 1,000,000. So it doesn't you don't have to start with large amounts, but you do need to make it multiply. And the fact that it's compounding is amazing. It's like watching, a seedling grow. It starts off small, tiny, and it doesn't grow, as fast. But once it reaches a certain height, then from there it's gone, and then it's bearing fruit and doing all this other stuff.
Right.
But yeah, an example of that is stock market. You can take that
Mhm.
10% that you're saving, put it in the market. You can take that 10% you're saving and start a business. You can take that 10% that you're saving and be an investor in someone else's business. You can take that 10% you're saving and find your way into real estate. Depending on where you live, you may be able to get into the market under certain circumstances with a minimal amount of investment. So there's tons of stuff to do. You have to do the research on the opportunities, though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's it for this episode. We're going to come back. All right. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the episode. Okay. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll know when we drop the next episode. All right. And we're going to go over the last four pieces. There's seven in total, right? These seven rules, right? So make sure you hit that notification bell. If you have any questions, as always, hit us up at questions@leagueofhustlers.com. Okay, and make sure you grab the Hustler Startup Pack. All right, we go over the business one-page business plan. We go over SWOT analysis. We go over the SMART goals template. All right, you got to pick that up. It's free. It's your first introduction to entrepreneurship, right? And it sets the right tone for you. Okay, it sets a solid foundation. So go ahead and grab that, and we will return next episode. All right. Um, Anything else, bro?
That's it.
All right, let's get it. Let's go. Follow for more. Shoot.